Hey there, Leslie Sansone Williams coming to you with the third and final installment of the paralegal job review process. So I hope this has been helpful. Again, this is important for you to track, not from the job review process that the law firm may employ, or that maybe you've been through in the past, and it's something that I dreaded. But if I had all of these listed, it would have helped me. And I did get coached through a review, and it made me understand the review process even better, and I aced it. So knowing ahead of time what you're going to be, I guess it's being judged for, reviewed for, is very important. And that's the purpose of me doing these 3 videos for you, okay? So write them down, type them up, whatever you want to do, and then look honestly at these, all 13 of them, and figure out where you stand as you're looking at perhaps going into the legal field for the first time, or maybe you're already in it. And you are looking here and you need to know where to get better, or you already are excelling at these and it's not showing up in your paycheck. Maybe it's time to go to a better job, So let's look at number 9, reliability. Reliability and trust go hand in hand in a law firm. When you are an excellent proofreader, spell checker, and they're totally different, when you can be relied on to organize, to do all of these skill sets well, your reliability factor goes up to 100%. When there's doubt, then you can't be relied on. And if they can find somebody else they can rely on to the 100 percentile, then they'll do that and you'll be history. So what do you prefer? So you have to get better at how people look at you. Are you a reliable employee? Are you a reliable legal assistant paralegal? And you have to answer that question honestly. Can they rely on you to get the job done correctly without making excuses? Without making excuses that, if I had only known, or I assumed. Never assume anything. That you're afraid to jump over some fear hurdles because that's how you've run your life. But now's the time to change that. So number 9 is reliability. Number 10, you're a creative person, a problem solver. You may be logical as all get out. I tend to work that way, like Mrs. Spock. But I have to be a creative problem solver because nobody else is going to solve it in the law firm. Sometimes, yes, we'll have a meeting and we can put our heads together for an issue that we're just not coming up with a solution for. But more than not, it's the administrative person, the legal secretary, the legal assistant, the paralegal, who are coming up with the solutions. And what are we coming up with solutions for? How to get the court to answer us when we call and nobody's calling us back. How to get the JA, the judicial assistant, to answer us. How to schedule a hearing with an attorney on the opposite side of our case who's not wanting to answer us. How to copy a notebook that I covered in the past, where in another video where the attorney brought us 3 notebooks. One was all in order, and the other 2 were a mess. Had all the documents in there, but they were all out of whack. So he wanted all 3 to be in sync with each other. And so I was in my office and I heard this going on in the conference room, and the attorney called me and said, "Can you solve this?" Well, the creative way to solve it, and it might sound logical to you now, is just to take the one that's in order and get it copied. You might think, oh my gosh, they couldn't figure that out. No, because they were looking at it with tunnel vision, thinking they had to get those other 2 in order. And I said, forget it. We're going to shred all those papers, and we're going to take that one notebook and just copy it. And we had 3-hole punch paper all ready to go in the copier, and our file clerk said she would do it and copy it all. Boom, done. So sometimes it takes 2 or 3 people to come up with a solution. Are you one of those people? You have to track that. When you have come up with a solution for something, write it down and track it, all right? But you do have to look at yourself that way. So number 11 is judgment. Everyday judgment. And how is that? Keeping a to-do list and prioritizing what should you do first on there. Sometimes you have to talk that over with your attorney for the day. They may come in and say, what are you working on? You may have been working on something else from 8:30 to 9:30. They come in and they want you to change it up. You change it up, and no negativity coming from you towards the attorney regarding that, because it's something they were probably thinking about as they were getting ready for work and stressing over. So prioritizing, it's a team effort on that with the attorney. What if you were on the court site and you filed the document in the wrong category? How will you solve that? What judgment will you use? Will you call the courthouse? Will you call the case manager for that case? What will you do, and using good judgment to solve it? The next one is one of the most important things in a law firm, and that is not practicing UPL. That is U, P like in Peter, L like in Leslie. Unauthorized practice of law. Unauthorized practice of law. That means when a client calls and they have a case, a question about the case, and it has to do with legalities, from the legal side of it, and they're not asking. If they're asking about, let's see, when is that hearing scheduled? I didn't write it down. I lost the document that it was. We sent the client a notice of hearing, a copy of it, but they don't know what they did with it. It's pretty common. So then you just tell them when the hearing is, what time, where they have to go, that type of thing. But that's not UPL. That's not telling them anything about the law, right? You cannot make that move into that area. You don't have a license. You're not an attorney. Remember what I'm saying here. I've known paralegals, legal assistants who cross that line. That is not good. And the attorney's the one that went to school for 7 years and went through 4 years of undergrad and went through 3 years of law school, and then took the bar, passed it, then had to wait to be admitted by the bar and be evaluated beforehand. They had to jump through a lot of hoops in order to get this career and to get their license. So you don't cut corners unless you want to go to law school and become an attorney. So don't do this. Don't practice law or get this heady idea that just because you know the answer, it's okay to tell the client or tell family and friends. Not so. All right. So good judgment is using systems to manage your cases. And it's practical stuff, and I teach it in my class, Paralegal Inner Circle class. So check that out, link below. And it's the practical side, okay, not taught in very many places. And client questions, as I said, clients will try to pump you so that they don't want to talk to the attorney. They don't want to be charged for all their questions, but you can't answer a lot of these questions. So don't start because you're feeling sympathy. It's not proper. It's not correct. Let the attorney answer the questions. When in doubt, do not answer. It's better to err on the side of caution than to answer questions that could get you into a lot of hot water. All right, so number 12 is leadership. Leadership as an assistant for the attorney is getting the job done, taking the stress off the attorney, using systems to do the job correctly, learning how to use software you've never learned before, taking the bull by the horns, so to speak. That's a true leader. True leader. That you are a major creative problem solver. It's not a job you just plunk yourself down in a swivel chair and then make your coffee and sit there chewing gum, right? It is a bona fide leadership position that in so many instances protects the attorney's license. And we'll go more into that detail in the class. And then number 13 is decision making. You're solving problems correctly. So the thing with the notebook, it was so easy to solve, but when there's a lot of chaos in a room, sometimes somebody else has to walk in and go, no, we can do this. we had an agenda. We had staff meetings every week that I led at one law firm, and I would ask people to submit items for the agenda, and we would talk and take an hour for that meeting and be done. We made decisions quickly. Running those meetings takes leadership, and it is not where we spend 3 hours in a meeting like that. We've done it, but we had to solve problems creatively and track that and keep getting it done. As simple as doing things like getting a kitchen set up in the basement, getting desks for the basement, because there was nobody else to do it at that point. So we all put our heads together and we worked together as a team. That's leadership. That's the ability to make decisions. When a client asks you a question that you should not answer, you're making a decision not to answer it and say, and you don't tell the client, that's UPL. You don't say that to a client. But you say that, that's not, you can't answer that, but you will talk to the attorney and get back with them. The client will look to you to be a problem solver. So if they don't want to, they're afraid to run their bill up. So you may have to be the go-between in some of those instances. But in others, the attorney will have to get on the phone with them and chat with them. So that's what he or she's there for. So this is it for today. I hope this was helpful. Each of these areas should be the criteria for determining, are you doing a good job? How strong are you in each of these areas? Judge yourself. Critique yourself. All right? And don't forget to check the links out below. The first step is to get the book Legal Break-In. That's my book. That is a first step if you've never you don't know a lot about this career, but you're interested. It's available on Kindle or paperback. The second step is, if you're serious, is to go into the class, which is month to month. You can stay for 1 month. You'll have access to all the classes the first month, and you can quit and cancel. Or you can go for many months as you want, until you feel like, okay, I've got this. And you take notes. I have 35 plus videos in that class, which amounts to over 7 hours of education on the practical side of being a paralegal. And 1 live video a month where I answer your questions that you've posed in our very private Facebook group that only people enrolled in the class have access to. So that is it for today. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you have questions, comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that little bell icon too, so that you notified whenever I upload a video. But don't forget to like and subscribe, because then you'll be notified as well. But that bell icon YouTube has put up so that you get notified for sure. So have a great day, and I will talk to you in the next video. Take care. Thanks for being here.